Hello, you are listening to the Natural Healing Show for UK Health Radio. I'm your host, Catherine Carrigan, medical intuitive healer, Amazon #1 best-selling author. You can find out more about me and my work at catherinecarrigan.com and unlimitedenergynow.com. While you're there, definitely sign up for my newsletter so you can learn even more about how you can heal yourself naturally. Now, by the way, we're here on UK Health Radio, which is the world's #1 talk health radio. And you can find the podcast of the Natural Healing Show all over the world where you listen to podcasts: Audio Boom, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, iHeart, Podcast Addict, Player FM, Podchaser, and Stitcher, and more. Now, today we are going to listen to Doug Godkin. Doug Godkin is the co-founder of Amio Life. Amio Life is based in British Columbia, Canada, and you can find out more about Doug Godkin and his wonderful work at his website, www.amiolife.com. Welcome, Doug Godkin.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Now, for our audience, you're going to really want to listen to what Doug Godkin has to say today, because we're going to be talking about anti-aging supplements. Now, I'm 64. It's all real. Everything you see is real. My hair, my skin, the whole body, it's all real. I am wearing makeup. Doug Godkin, how old are you?
I'm 49.
Okay, so we know what we're talking about as far as staying healthy as we age. Now, Doug Godkin, why, in your professional opinion, do people actually need anti-aging supplements?
Well, it all boils down to the anti-aging supplements that we use. And I'm a big proponent of anti-aging through the digestive system. And when we look at a lot of the anti-aging supplements or anti-aging products, let's say, so many of them are actually aging the body. They're doing the body a disjustice. We look at the creams, we look at the lotions, we look at all of these different things that people are putting onto their body. Well, what we've got is we've got a crisis of people not reading the labels of these products and not understanding what these products are. And in fact, they're leading us to further aging concerns, let's say, than they are for corrective side of things. So when we look at what we want to do to, I'm not going to say reverse aging, but help ourselves look younger longer, is if we can really focus on the digestive system, focus on the microbiome, focus on the liver and the kidneys, and truly understand how that plays into our overall well-being, and how that overall well-being then transfers into how we look on the outside. There's a really big story to tell there. And so when we look at supplementation, like I say, I'm a huge proponent of going and really truly correcting the digestive system. Most people don't realize, and a lot of people may or may not have heard of leaky gut syndrome, for instance. Well, when we've got a really, really sick digestive system, and the bacteria and the yeasts and the funguses and the molds are essentially eroding the layer of the gut and leaching those toxins into the gut, then all of a sudden those toxins make their way out to the layers of the skin, and they start actually eating away at the skin, which over the course of time can create skin conditions, but it also can really affect our skin health. So somebody that's younger may appear many, many years older as a result of that one simple thing. And the challenge is that poor person is looking in the mirror saying, man, like, I just don't like the way I look anymore. I don't feel good. I don't look good. They're not empowered as a person, let's say. So off they go to the grocery store, off they go to the cosmetic store, buy hundreds and hundreds of dollars of creams and lotions and potions, let's say, to give them that feeling of vanity, let's say, to look better and feel better. But they've created this vicious circle where they're actually aging themselves so much quicker than they could be if they made some course corrections on how they were to change that.
I agree with you 100%. And Doug Godkin, as a medical intuitive healer, I always say you can only look as good on the outside as your cells are actually healthy on the inside. Now, I am actually wearing makeup this morning. I got on a full face of makeup, but I couldn't look this way if I didn't have that cellular health. Now, for our audience, Doug Godkin has very generously created a coupon code. So if you're listening to this broadcast, you can use the promo code Natural Healing 20 when you go to www.meolife.com. And that's AMEO life.com. So just put in the promo code Natural Healing 20 and you'll get 20% off your first order. So I know that I got into natural healing in my early 30s, and I'm 30 years later, I'm twice as healthy, at least as I was 30 years ago. Doug Godkin, how did you actually get into natural health?
Well, I'm going to say it kind of happened by accident for me. And it started when I was a young kid, believe it or not. I was really, really sick and in and out of children's hospital. And then my grandfather, and this is back in the early 70s when, when natural health was a little bit more fringe than it is today. And he really went hard into natural health because he's like, how am I going to fix my grandkids? What's going on? So it just kind of got embedded into me as a young kid and then growing up. And of course, my life has been like a bit of a heart monitor where, you go through healthy times and then you think you know it all and you don't. And but I mean, it's been this lifelong journey, and then being a part of a supplement company and now being a part of the formulation team and doing all that and seeing truly how our bodies work. And I've had the opportunity to just work with amazing scientists and researchers and doctors all over the world to get a this sort of 360 view of things. And I'm not a medical doctor. And I think in a lot of cases that's beneficial because I look through it through a layman's terms, but coming from a lot of science background, let's say. So it's a different kind of viewpoint on how I look at health and look at the body and look at what we're doing with this. And there's a lot of common sense that comes into play as well. And when I see what's going on in the supplement industry, I see what's going on in the food industry and the healthcare industry, it's really easy to poke those holes in it to say, okay, well, here's the problems that are happening. Here's how so much of this system is being run just for money, let's say, and marketing and deception. Let's truly understand what's going on. And I believe that we can heal our bodies from pretty much any condition. And there's also, I'll just say this as well. There's this huge misconception that people think that supplements can heal their body. And the supplement industry has done a fantastic job of marketing to say, if you've got such and such a condition, you need to take our product and this is going to fix you. Well, there isn't a supplement on earth that's actually going to create any form of healing. And people are like, well, you're a supplement manufacturer. Why are you saying that? Well, the honest truth is the healing, treating, curing machine is the human body. And a good supplement and the right supplement is going to give the body what the body's missing for the body to heal itself. And I think, that's a story that's hard for companies to monetize, to say, this is how it works, but it's truly how it works. So I think in what we're doing here, Catherine, is we've got to be truth tellers and help people really understand what to take, what not to take, what's making them sick and how. And how does that play into aging? Well, the more stress, the more chemicalization, the more of all of the wrong things that we do to the body, the more of an aging factor it's going to play.
Now, I agree with you 100%. And in the 30 years I've practiced natural healing, people come to me with literally as many as literally suitcases full of supplements. And I, as a medical intuitive healer, will go through them, and it's like, this works, that doesn't work. You need 2 of these and 1 of that and none of that. And this, I've had so many people make themselves really, really sick taking natural supplements that their body either didn't need or couldn't digest and absorb. And one of the things I'm always explaining to my clients is there's a difference between what you need and what you can absorb. Like, for example, you may need protein, but you can't, digest a 16-ounce steak at one sitting, right? So when it comes to anti-aging supplements, what are some of the basic supplements that you recommend for people when they want to start an anti-aging supplement regime?
Okay, so this is going to be something that people have probably not heard of or not even thought of in an anti-aging regimen, because I'm not going to come at this from a topical solution or a cream solution. From an anti-aging side, I think the first step should be structured silver. And people are going to go, what the heck? We've never even thought or heard of silver in an anti-aging regimen. But here's what silver does. It naturally cleanses yeast, bacteria, fungus, and mold. It doesn't metabolize in the body. So when you were just talking there a second ago about the body's ability to absorb and break things down, silver doesn't get metabolized in the digestive system, meaning it doesn't put any workload on the digestive system or the immune system. So what it's going to do is it's naturally going to help cleanse. It's as step 1, let's say, for an anti-aging scenario, it's going to cleanse out the body of the garbage, the junk, like I say, the yeast, bacteria, fungus, and mold that's wreaking havoc on the digestive system, wreaking havoc on the immune system, and all of these things causing inflammation. So what we've done in our silver is we're the first company that's created a silver that's an alkaline, that's based on structured water, and a very, very small nano-sized silver particle that's actually bonded to the water molecule. So whereas in the past, some people may have been afraid of silver, and there's lots of information on Google that says, hey, this can turn me blue or whatever. Well, with this product, it actually can't. And we've been doing this for years, have never had one adverse reaction whatsoever. Because we bond a very small nano-sized particle of silver to the water molecule, it actually can't fall out of solution. It can't settle to the bottom of the bottle. It can't be stored in the body. So we've got the most advanced form of silver on the market today that also breaks through the blood-brain barrier and delivers throughout the entire body. So what we're doing is we're working on the skin, working on anti-aging, let's say, from the inside out. But also part of aging is how you feel. It's not just how you look, it's how you feel on the inside. How's my energy? How's my sleep? How's my cognitive function? Whenever somebody thinks of, anti-aging, so often they think, how do I look in the mirror? Well, a lot of how I look in the mirror is reflected, how do I feel when I look in the mirror too, right? So we want to make sure that we're coming from an approach that we're truly tackling what's going on inside the body as step 1. Okay. Step 2 is starting to rebuild the digestive system. So we're using silver to cleanse the digestive system, the liver, the kidneys, pull out the toxins, flush the toxins, and essentially stop the bombardment of what's making us sick, right? Step 2, probiotics. And what we've got is a spore-based probiotic, but it's not just any probiotic. We've got a patented probiotic that is patented to last longer in the digestive system than any other probiotic on the market today. But we've also encapsulated that with inulin, slippery elm, fiber, turmeric, and aloe. So we've created not just a probiotic, but a full digestive system probiotic where we're addressing inflammation, we're addressing bowel movements, we're addressing, the repopulation of digestive flora. So these two products working in harmony together tackle so much of what we've got going on from an aging, and I'm going to just say a disruptive body, if that makes sense.
So with
And
that, let's take a break and listen to a message from one of our commercial sponsors here at UK Health Radio, the world's #1 talk health radio. And again, if you're listening and you want to take advantage of the promo code Natural Healing 20 at amiolife.com to get 20% off. We'll be right back. So Doug Godkin, co-founder of amiolife.com. What is structured silver and how is it different from colloidal silver? Many of our audience may have heard of colloidal silver, which they may take when they're under a viral situation or a bacterial situation.
so when we look at colloidal silver, and colloidal silver has been around for many, many years, technically, when you think of colloidal silver, you think of a silver that somebody is making in their home with a small device with silver rods that energetically pulse to pull those silver particles off the rod and settle them into a pot of water. And that's been used for many, many years, and it's great in an emergency situation to use. The challenge is there's two challenges with that form of colloidal silver. One is it's extremely difficult to control the particle size that's coming off those rods because they use a very low energetic frequency to do so. And secondly is with that is you've got these silver particles settling to the bottom of the jar or the glass or whatever they're making that in. So when you take that and you consume it, then those particles are actually going to break away from the water molecules again, get stored in the fat cells, and over time cause the concern that's called argyria. And that's where colloidal silver has had a bad name for many, many years. Is it good to use in an emergency situation when something's coming on? Totally, because you're not going to get enough silver in that sort of serving, let's say, that's going to lead to a concern. But if somebody takes that and consumes that silver day in, day out, day in, day out for a long period of time, then we can get, like I say, that condition which is called argyria. So what we've done is we've solved that problem by making a very, very, very small silver particle under 100 nanometers in size, which means you could literally fit thousands of silver particles on the tip of this pen that I'm holding. So very, very small. Then what we've done is we've bonded those silver molecules within a structured water molecule. So it's inside the water molecule. It can't break free. It actually won't break free. So it stays stored in that water molecule the entire time in the body, and it exits the body about 12 hours later. So we don't have any of those challenges of settling to the bottom of the jar or the potential of argyria overtaking it in time. Secondly, we use structured water as compared to purified water or distilled water. So water is extremely important. And a lot of people don't realize that the more that mankind manipulates water, the less effective that water becomes inside the human body. And it's how it's absorbed, it's the energetic frequency, it's its ability to pull, cleanse, and flush toxins out of the body. So when we look at structured water and sort of what we believe in a foundation of who we are as a company, let's say, is we believe that anything that comes from the earth to the human body is best left alone. So what do I mean by that? Is we try to not manipulate any ingredient. We don't wash those ingredients in alcohol. We don't cook them in heat. We don't do anything that changes how that ingredient came from the earth and how we get it into the human body. And the more that an ingredient is tampered with, the more that man thinks that, hey, I can do this better. Well, the worse that we see a supplement perform, if that makes sense to you. So when we look at structured water is the water that's coming down a river. It's picking up the minerals as it comes down the river. It's pooling in rocks. It's vortexing. It's picking up a specific energetic frequency. That is the healthiest water that we can actually get into our body. Unfortunately, the media says don't drink it, it'll make you sick. But if we look at that as water, that is the absolute most hydrogenating water that we can get into our body. So that's, rather than purified or distilled water, that's what we use is structured water. And then we get that into the silver, into the product in an alkaline state. So what does that mean? Inside our body, and anybody, and I'm not saying for a second that silver cures cancer, but when somebody goes in for cancer treatment, the first thing that the system wants to do is get somebody alkaline as quickly as possible, because modern medicine realizes that disease, fungus, mold, bacteria can't grow and flourish in an alkaline state. So this is where we serve the silver in an alkaline state as compared to an acidic state. We know it's also going to be better embraced by the immune system, better embraced by the digestive system and the body overall, getting that alkalinity. In our gel, for instance, we do our gel, which is the topical version of our silver liquid that's just thickened, but we do that in a slightly acidic state because the biome of our skin is slightly acidic. So what we want to do is make sure that the products that we serve are serving the biome and serving the body as the body is best going to react to those.
So, Doug Godkin, co-founder of Amio Life, I agree with so much of what you're saying, including the importance of healing the digestive tract. So as a medical intuitive healer, I would venture to guess at least half of my new clients have some sort of disordered digestion. My worst clients, I had a lady, I remember she had her small intestine completely removed and had been that way for decades. Crohn's, colitis, and even people without severe digestive challenges like that, because of the food that people are eating and the way it's prepared and microwaved, so many people have digestive problems. And then they think they're going to solve it by taking a bunch of natural supplements, which then their body can't digest or absorb. So my question for you is, why is it critical to heal the digestive tract as part of the anti-aging process?
Well, our digestive system is our body's second brain, but everything that happens within our body hovers and orbits around our digestive system. So everything that you consume through your mouth is going to end up in your digestive system. Everything that you put on your body, as far as the soaps, the shampoos, the creams, the deodorants, is going to end up in the liver and kidneys, which is a part of the digestive system. So the digestive system is this ground base, or this home base for how our body works and functions. The more we kind of beat on it, let's say, or the more distress that we put onto it, the more that distress is going to radiate through how the rest of our body performs. And most people aren't thinking right now, okay, what does this matter, and how does this truly work in my body? And we see all of the foods that are being manipulated, and our body, going back to what I was talking about. I'm not trying to bounce around, I'm just trying to get to a story here. When I was talking about the structured water, and I was talking about what we take into our body and how we approach supplementation, is getting the vitamins, minerals, botanicals, herbs, anything that we put into our products as they were intended to and as they were created, right? So when we look at our body, for instance, and people can believe whatever they believe as far as how our bodies came into existence and creation and that kind of thing. But if we believe that our body is a living, breathing, divine creation, however that divine creation came to be, Well, then we have to believe that our body was programmed to function a certain way, right? And functioning a certain way means that what we put into onto our body is either going to have a negative reaction or a positive reaction. And our bodies were never programmed to consume, digest, absorb, or use chemicalization or altered ingredients. And this is why we see this just absolute mass explosion of illness nowadays, is because we've bombarded our bodies with substances that our body doesn't know what to do with it. So what is the reaction going to be from our body? It's going to be store these chemicals. It's going to create inflammatory conditions. It's going to be create immune conditions, because our body's looking at all this saying, you're giving me all this stuff, I don't know what to do with it, I'm going to get sick. The other thing it's going to do is those chemicals are what's feeding the yeast, feeding the bad bacteria, feeding the toxins in our body. So we're creating this sludge of a swamp inside of our digestive system, inside of our body, and this is why we're sick, right?
And
And then
I would say for my clients, you have to heal your digestive system first before you can digest and absorb a lot more supplements. In
exactly.
addition to that, 70% of inflammation begins in your gut. So if you have pain anywhere in your body, if you're listening to this broadcast and you have pain, any aches or pain anywhere, that means you have inflammation. 70% of that inflammation is going to begin in your gut. So and that has to do with what you put in your mouth every day. So as you heal your gut, you're going to reduce the inflammation. And a fact that many people don't realize is that over 90% of your serotonin is produced in your GI tract. So if you've been taking a lot of antibiotics or eating microwave foods or eating a high chemical diet like Doug Godkin is talking about, you're not going to have good mental health, you're not going to have good energy, and you're not going to age very well.
I agree. I completely agree. And we were talking about supplements. I find so many people that I talk to are taking way too many supplements, because what they've got is they've got this sick digestive system.
Right.
They go to Dr. Google, or they see these ads in Facebook or Instagram or all of these different social media channels. And it's like, take me, take me, take me is what they see with all these supplements. And I talk to people that are taking like 20, 30 different supplements, and they're spending hundreds of dollars a month, and they're feeling worse. And I'm like, whoa, slow down. Stop here for a second. There's no need to be taking that, but they're taking it because they're so sick and tired of being sick and tired that they just want relief.
Yes.
And when I talk to them, I'm like, okay, here's kind of the foundation of where we're going to start. I'm like, stop all of it for the time being. Like, just take a break. Step one, and please don't think this is a sales tactic. I'm trying to say this in all honesty to help people. Stop the supplementation for a bit, right? Focus on the silver for 30 days. And why do I say that? Because what we know is the silver is going to cleanse the yeast, the bacteria, the fungus, and the mold. Okay. When we look at the problem markers in people, it's those that are out of control. Two is it doesn't metabolize in the body. So every other vitamin, mineral, herb, and botanical actually needs a response from the digestive system to break it down in order for it to be used. Well, when we have an overworked, sick digestive system, the digestive system may just not have the energy and, let's say, the horsepower to break a supplement down because it's so overworked and overburdened. So it's going to take that supplement, it's just going to pass it through the digestive system, it's going to go down the toilet, it's going to get used, and somebody's going to waste their money, right? So with silver, like I say, it's going to cleanse. It's going to help take the workload off the digestive system. It's going to help take the workload off the immune system, so that after a period of time of using that, then it's cleansed a lot of, I'm going to say, the fire and the flames that are going on inside the body. So now we can slowly start to, ingest or add supplementation, right? We start with the probiotic, we start with essential vitamins and minerals, we start getting the body the essentials of what the body needs in order to function properly. And I normally find that we can take people, off of 80% of the supplements that they were taking. We save them hundreds of dollars a month. They feel so much better, and we make just giant strides forward in following this protocol.
And Doug Godkin, for my own practice, I have to share this story. So I had a client about 2 years ago. It was pre-pandemic, I believe. And at any rate, very smart lady. So she would think, oh, I have this problem, and go look it up on the internet and taking this and that and the other. Well, this lady, who was an intelligent lady, had made herself so sick that she was in constant pain, like literally crying. She was unable to work. And she worked with me, and I said to her, you are on too many supplements. You are literally making yourself sick. And she was taking high quality supplements. So it wasn't the quality of the supplements, it was the quantity. And she had screaming urological pain. So it's very important. And that's part of what I do as a medical intuitive healer, is I help people figure out, what do you need? What can you absorb? And kind of the right order of things, right? So with that, let's take another break and listen to a message from one of our commercial sponsors here at UK Health Radio, the world's #1 talk health radio. And we'll be right back with Doug Godkin, co-founder of Amio Life. And while you're taking a break, you can use the promo code naturalhealing20 for 20% off at amiolife.com. So, Doug Godkin, I really appreciate your message, because you and I think very much alike. I've taken supplements for decades. And again, I'm now 64. It's all real. The hair, the skin, all of it. However, it's very critical that you only take what you need and can absorb. What makes a good anti-aging supplement?
That's a great question. And I'll just talk about supplements in general for a second. Is when somebody goes into a health food store, or somebody, is looking at any form of supplementation, the first thing that they're always looking at is, I hope you can see that, is the label, right? What does the label say? And when I say the label, the front of the label, because that's the eye-catching, attractive piece of a label. And they'll see doctor recommended, they'll see, gastroenterologist, approved. And especially when they're on the internet, they see all of these kind of trust symbols of, why should I buy this product, right? The problem is so much of that is pay to play. These companies are just paying these people to make these statements. Most of these doctors, in a lot of cases, aren't even real doctors. They're just people that are throwing on a lab coat so that they can, anyways, there's a whole side to that as well. But so much of the supplement industry, I'm going to say, is face value supplement industry, right? The truth of the matter is, what everybody should truly be looking at on a product is the back side of it. And that's the supplement facts panel. And there's so many varying options that can even happen on the back supplement facts panel. And there's good ingredients, there's okay ingredients, there's great ingredients. And when I say that, it's how they're harvested, how they come from the earth, how they get into the product, right? And there's no real identifier at looking at a company quickly to say, okay, are these guys using good ingredients, or are they actually using great ingredients? But there's a couple telltale signs that can help us determine good, better, great on how they do things. So one is right below the active ingredients on a product. We've got what's called the other ingredients. Okay. In so many health supplements, this is where they're hiding the sugars, the glucoses, many different nefarious sort of chemicals, let's say, that they get into these health supplements that are not good for the body. And I mean, I look at probiotic companies that are putting sugar in other ingredients. The number one ingredient is sugar. And I'm like, what the heck? We're trying to fix the digestive problem. Why are you putting sugar into a probiotic when that's going to feed the problem that we're trying to get away from? It's like, are you guys freaking crazy? But they do it. So when looking at a health supplement, don't pay attention to what is on the front of it. Quickly look at the other ingredients. And if you are seeing any form of nefarious ingredient or any form of chemicalization product in that, I would say put that one back on the shelf and look at the next one. Because the determination of if that company cares enough about you, their customer, to use really great ingredients is going to be reflective in how they process that product.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. And that's just a quick down and dirty to understand a quick selection of health supplements. Don't pay attention to the marketing and all of the hype. Take a look at that. That tells you the instant quick truth of a good supplement or not.
Yes, I always say most medical doctors are against supplements because most supplements aren't very good. And I agree. As a medical intuitive who sits here every day, every week, going through people's supplements, again, and from years of testing supplements on hundreds and thousands of clients every year, I kind of know intuitively what works and what doesn't work, right? So less is more. And what I find is, and you're talking about the fillers and additives, many of the companies are using fillers and additives, which are common food allergens, gluten, dairy products,
Yeah.
and so on. Now let's talk about collagen, because lots of people who want to have better skin or better connective tissue are turning to collagen. What is collagen, and why is it a fad in anti-aging supplements?
Because people have done a great job marketing it. Our body produces collagen naturally. And if we give our body what it needs, then it's actually going to produce collagen. Collagen wasn't even a thing 5 years ago. Nobody had heard of it. Nobody had thought of it. So many of these supplements that are on the market today are there because of marketing. And it's, once again, you're talking about people over supplementing, right? So supplement companies are hitting customers at a time of weakness, right? It's quick, it's easy. There's great margins in collagen. I'll say that because I've been in a process of formulating some collagen products. If somebody's going to take a collagen, the best collagen is a fish collagen, as compared to what most people don't realize when they look at collagen is it's almost a hot dog. And that sounds gross. But when you pick up your average jar of collagen, whether it's a powder or whether it's a liquid, that's coming from the hoofs of cows, the beaks of chickens. It's coming from the areas of these animals that are ground up and put into a powder. That's what you're consuming. And people don't think about that when they're taking these collagen products. And there are some good collagens out there, but my honest opinion is do you take collagen?
No.
Okay, so I'll rest my case right there.
Yeah, rest the case. And I have great skin at age 64, and I do not take collagen. Yeah.
So if we do everything right that we've talked about for the last 45 minutes here today, in my humble opinion, we don't need to take collagen because our body is going to produce that through taking proper vitamins and minerals. There's so many products that people are taking nowadays that they don't need to, and people are spending so much money on products they're spending that money because of marketing, not because of truth. And this is what I so love about talking with you here today, is you want to tell the truth to people. We want to save people money, but we want to actually heal people naturally, not through throwing a whole bunch of stuff at them and say, take this protocol of these 50 things and you'll get better. No. Let's take everything off your body. Let's get you eating right and sleeping right and supplementing properly with the right things. And with that, we're going to help people feel and look younger than they are, because the body's going to naturally revert itself to the state that it should be in.
Yes. Now let's be practical for our audience, because I always like to think about our audience and people listening here to the Natural Healing Show. Once someone has actually done the work of healing their gut, okay, and they've healed the mucosal barrier, that inner lining of the digestive tract, what are some basic anti-aging supplements that you recommend? I'll give my recommendations. I'd love to hear what you recommend.
Oh, good multivitamins, good probiotics. Man, I'm such a minimalist on this that I don't take a lot of supplements myself, and I don't recommend a lot of supplements to people.
And that's a powerful message from the co-founder of a supplement company, right? Less is more.
It is. And you know, like, I'm just trying to think, you know.
I'm going to throw in some of my recommendations.
Please do.
I agree with you that most people need a multivitamin, a good, highly absorbable multivitamin, right? One that you can actually break down. The other, and I agree that most people need a good probiotic, so you maintain the good bacteria in your gut. Because again, once you really get that 90%, over 90% of your serotonin begins in your gut, your mental health is completely dependent on your digestive health. So once you're on a good multi and a good probiotic, I also like a high quality fish oil, omega-3 fish oil. And I have to, add in a lot of caveats here, because I have little test kits in my office, and I've tested fish oils that literally have arsenic in it. Okay. It's shocking. And Godkin is agreeing. So you've got to get a really high quality pure fish oil without heavy metals in it, right? Because heavy metals cause things like Alzheimer's disease. So multivitamin, probiotic, omega-3, and then I like green powders. I'm a major fan of green powders, because the higher your antioxidant levels are the faster your body heals and the cleaner your blood is. Lots of supplement companies will manufacture antioxidants. Well, antioxidants are measured in what's called ORAC, oxygen radical absorption capacity. You should get, in theory, 3,000 to 6,000 ORACs every day from eating fruits and vegetables in your diet. And by all means, and Doug Godkin and I both agree, you want to get, your 5 to 7 servings of fruits and vegetables in your diet. But what I like about green powders is the phytochemicals are in the fiber, the seeds, and the pith of fruits and vegetables. And they're when you get yourself a really high quality green powder, it's going to clean up your blood. It's going to improve your energy. It's going to give you beautiful skin and raise your antioxidant levels. Probably about 10 years ago now, I went to a holistic dentist, and he wouldn't do certain procedures on you until he'd measured your antioxidant levels. And he wanted your antioxidant levels to be at least over 40,000 before he did any procedures. So bottom line, the higher your antioxidant levels, the better your skin, the better your energy, the faster you heal, and the cleaner your blood is. If you put a drop of human blood on a slide and look at it under a microscope, you can tell whether a human being is getting enough antioxidants. So that's my basic recommendations: green powder, omega-3, multivitamin, and probiotic. What are your thoughts?
I completely agree with that 100%. And like I say, it's back to the less is more. So many products, so many supplements have come to fruition from a marketing side of things. And it's basically, when we look at supplementation, it's getting into the body what the earth intended to put into the body, right? Because we have to look at, if we look back a number of years ago, before supplementation and before where we were at, people were living and thriving and surviving based on what they were eating, what they were consuming, right? So many of these different, I'm going to say, kind of funky supplements that people are taking has come out of a quest of, hey, I can make this, I can market it, I can tell a great story behind it, and people will buy it. And we need to look at things through that lens to say, okay, what are the pure food, fruit, wellness ways of getting supplementation into our body? What are the ways of getting the essential vitamins, minerals, and compounds into our body that were there to substantiate life, right? And when you were talking about the fish oil there for a second as well, is, that's another portion of collagen delivery as well. So back to giving, I'm going to say, the best honest advice we can give in helping people think through health and think through health from a, financial standpoint. What we're talking about here is under a few $100s a month, and people are getting, with what I've recommended and what you've recommended, a very broad spectrum of supplementation that's going to completely enhance and substantiate their overall wellness. And if people want to put things on top of that, hey, by all means, I'm a huge proponent of humic fulvic acid as well, and what that does in the body. But some of these supplements, they'll come and go as they're needed. But the staple foundations of daily supplementation is protect and thrive the immune system, protect and thrive the digestive system, and then protect and thrive the impulses of life, which is the multivitamins and the essential minerals that are essentially the spark plug of life that are controlling all of the tiny impulses that cause our body to fire. And all of that we're talking about right there is just foundational. If we have a super strong foundation in our body, everything around that is going to flourish and thrive around it.
Now, and again, as a medical intuitive healer and someone who's literally spent decades recommending different supplements, and again, multivitamin, probiotic, omega-3, green powders, you can't go wrong with those once you've healed your gut. But as a medical intuitive healer who's using and recommending all kinds of natural remedies, it is rare for me to recommend a person to be on supplements forever, right? It's like, okay, you're using it and then you don't use it, right? Maybe last one that I would also recommend also is a really good digestive enzyme, because as people age, their digestive system doesn't work as well as it could. So many people benefit from digestive enzymes. So again, if you're listening and resonate with what Doug Godkin is saying, you can use the promo code naturalhealing20 at ameolife.com. So Doug Godkin, any final thoughts for our audience?
You can do this. If anybody is listening to us today and feeling overwhelmed or, just kind of throwing their hands up in the air, listen to what we're saying. And if you have to listen to it back a couple times, please realize that the things that we're saying today is because we actually care, and we know that with this simple advice, and that's what we're trying to do, is keep the advice simple today, we can really make a positive impact on somebody's life. So this has been great. Like before the show, we get on, we do these kind of things, and this is our first time talking. it's so awesome to be able to just share with somebody like-minded, and then to an audience that I truly hope embraces this message. And if we can just make a positive impact on one person's life that's listening today, heck, I'll do this every day to help make those one change time and time again. And thank you.
You've been listening to the Natural Healing Show for UK Health Radio. UK Health Radio is the world's #1 talk health radio. This is Catherine Carrigan, medical intuitive healer, Amazon #1 best-selling author. You can find out more about me and my work at catherinecarrigan.com and unlimitedenergynow.com. While you're there, definitely sign up for my newsletter so you can learn even more about how you can heal yourself naturally at catherinecarrigan.com and unlimitedenergynow.com. If you're listening, use the promo code naturalhealing20 at www.ameolife.com. And remember, less is more. Heal your digestive system first, and then be smart about your supplementation. Don't throw your money down the drain. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you next time.